y'all, this is Jules. So this is our Wimberly colorway. We are adding our dye, of course, and what is in the pan next to the pot that I'm working in, that is a special surprise that's going to be coming up. I worked with somebody on that yarn. All right. We've made some beautiful pinky, slightly mauvey color, and we're going to come in and add some more colors to it. Oh, that was very bad. My zip tie came undone. So you're gonna have to sit back there for a while and cool so I can fix you. There's a little bit of color left in the pot, so I am going to throw in our yarn mop and let it do its thing. So this is the first time I've ever had a zip tie come undone, and I completely panicked. And to the point that I was like, I don't even care if I'm burning my fingers. I have to fix this because, waiting for it to cool would have changed the situation so much. I was in a complete panic. So I went ahead and I got it straightened out enough to get the zip tie back on. And at that point, literally as soon as it was back on, I was like, okay, all is good in the world. We're going to be all right. Safety first, people. Safety first. Don't let your yarn get knotted. So now I'm going to get the yarn all straightened out, laid out in the pan so we can continue to dye it. It's always such a fastidious thing that I need to be doing, and I like to move the zip tie so it's not right there every time. What y'all just did not just see was me smack myself in the face with the tongs. That was fabulous. I didn't smack myself hard, it was just annoying. Alright. I have two different things going on here. I'm going to bring in... Oh, I gave myself a heart attack. I thought this was on. Speaking of this being on. Alright. I wasn't planning on having on the stove, but I'm going to have on the stove. Oh, steam. I was like, where did all that water come from? I'm going to have on the stove up here because this is why it's going to take forever to get warm when I decide that I'm going to do that. So, this is some gray that we're going to bring in. If the gray looks a little murky that I'm bringing in, it is because it is a mixture of commercial dye and food coloring. I couldn't get quite the color I wanted just with the commercial dye, so I brought in the food coloring, and the food coloring has titanium dioxide, which does absolutely nothing to the yarn. It just helped me achieve, not the titanium dioxide, the food coloring helped me achieve the color that I was looking for out of the gray. I have found that I really like mixing the two together. It seems to work really well to bring the color that I'm looking for out. in the yarn. It is a huge thing for me to have it correct compared with the color in my mind. I think I want some more gray. And I'm going to come in at this end and bring in the gray. And then I'm going to come down the sides. Okay, I am going to turn on the rear, turn it down to like 3. So we flipped the pan around and I'm getting ready to add the second color, and I am totally indecisive about where I want to add it, but I made a decision and we're bringing in a blue so that we get kind of a bluey gray where they meet and a really vibrant blue on this mauvey pink yarn. I really think that the gray made the yarn look more mauve than it did already. And I really like the giant speckling in the yarn, and I really wanted to marry the gray and the blue at the other end. So when I took it up the sides, the gray dye up the sides, I needed to come in with the blue, and I was very pleased with this effect. I really think the hardest part for me is to let the yarn sit. I really want to be touching it and moving around and doing something with it, and that doesn't always help my cause. I do think that in this particular case, moving it around helped the blue spread some, but most of the time I just want to touch it. It's so much fun. And in all reality, I'm not good at letting the polish dry. After like 30 plus years doing nails, sitting and waiting for a client's polish to dry, or worse than that, my own polish to dry, that's just like so incredibly difficult for me. I don't know why I've been so quiet. I'm used to doing this quietly. So I decided I wanted to add a little acid, and it's the blue part that hasn't struck yet, and I really want to flip this over. So I threw a little bit more acid in the part that actually needed it. So we're gonna check it again in a minute, and even if it's not quite absorbed, it's not gonna hurt anything to flip. I haven't named this yet, but I'm really liking it. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. This side has a little bit more blue, but that's okay. Now that we flipped it, I can go in and put in more spots so that it's cohesive on both sides. When it's all dry and hanked up, it's really pretty to see just these little tiny pops of the blue. I probably should have brought in the gray with the pops, but I figured since I ran the gray up the sides, I didn't need to do that. Let me know in the comments if you think I should have come through with the gray in the pops of color. I don't know still. I don't know if I should have. Part of me thinks I should have come in with a darker gray. All right. I'm going to give this about 10 minutes. I'm going to turn down the rear burner a little bit. Here we are, all hanked up and nice and dry and ready to be shipped out. I'm really pleased with the way the blue moves through the entire colorway with the pink. Thank you so much for joining me. Come back, hit like, and subscribe. Bye!